Harrison, hey. Hey, Harrison. All right. Well, I just got back home. I was going to do the post game show live, but with no signal or anything. I just rather got home, put my voice on a little bit of some Coke Zero and relax and welcome into the named yet to be determined podcast. So, I mean, we're still going to go with Tigers Radio Pod. As of Monday, when I get everything set up, I will be part of the Woodward Sports Network, and I'll be the Woodward Tigers beat reporter. However, the podcast is not changing. Chris is still going to be with me, and we're going to continue on, and hopefully Chris will get Chris aboard full-time over at Woodward Tigers. That is a goal. So if you are a business and you want to advertise with us, let us know, and that can make that happen. We can make Chris a part of the staff. But I was down there today. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I'd say tell your business friends.
Yeah, tell your business friends. If you want to advertise with Woodward Sports, by all means. That means Chris can come aboard and be part of this too. I mean, I'm still going to help. Yeah.
I'll finally get to arm wrestle Darren McCarty like I've been wanting to for the last 30 years.
And today was crazy. It was the game. We'll get to the game. We'll get to the game here shortly. But
hey,
the facilities down there. Shout out to Jeremy on YouTube. Yo 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 yo. It was insane today. The atmosphere, the crowd, the crowd atmosphere. It was electric, and the game itself. Tigers went 5-4 on a walk-off single with some controversy to it by Javier Baez.
Yeah, kind of a lot of controversy in that game today. Like, man, I was upset by that. I don't know how close of a look you guys got at the play where Candelario was ruled out at second.
That was a clean slide.
Well, apparently, I mean, that's been a clean slide for our entire lives, right?
Yeah.
So, but apparently there's a new rule now that you can't roll over or you can't go, like, apparently the letter of the law says that was the correct call. But yeah, I mean, it was a real bummer when it happened. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, tell us more about the experience down there. You got down there at what, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock? You were down there.
I got down there at 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Jeez.
So I parked over at MGM. I brought cash because I knew that those lots were going to be expensive. And so then I took my phone around, and I just decided to take a film of people hanging out in the parking lots and wanted to get to fans. There's a lot of fans that have their routine for opening day or any Tigers game, or for that matter, football games. But opening day is such a big deal, and I got to talk to some people there was this three guys who had eggs that brats. It was delicious.
I saw that was. I'm like, they're making eggs. That's random, but yeah, it looked pretty good. And you sent me that video of you eating the brat, and I was like, hey, all right, yeah.
Delicious brats. And again, I'm not the sausage king of this area. Unlike, we know who the sausage king is in Detroit. So, and Isaac rules that with an iron fist, and that's perfectly fine. For me, it's whatever. I can eat tacos, burritos. That sounds stereotypical, but that's one of my favorite foods. But actually, give me a good steak. So there we go. But no, it was a great time. Thanks to Stick at Woodward Sports. Thanks to everybody. Easy. There's a bunch of people. Yeah. He got pinched by D-Mac. I seen the videos Jeremy put in the YouTube. No, but honestly, there's a lot of people to thank on there. And most importantly, I want to thank really Kurt. I said this last night on the podcast, and yesterday I was not 100%. I was just working all day yesterday, but Kurt over at Fanside, Kurt Menacing is one of the best, nicest dudes I've ever met, and I'll be writing till Sunday for Motor City Bengals, and Monday all this stuff becomes official. And so make sure you follow Woodward Tigers. It's an account that's not live yet, but we'll get some more stuff on that. But yeah, honestly, Kurt, Brandon Day over at Bless You Boys, Trevor Huth at Bless You Boys, Ashley McClellan, all these great people that I've met and made me better writers. Mark Gurash, who was on last night and really carried the pod, and all the people on our Discord channel that we started, and now it's becoming a thing where, thanks, Sean, by the way. If you haven't not joined a Discord channel, we'll put the link in there. I'll have to find the link here in a second, but that thing was popping, and we have a lot of great people, and there's some people on the Discord. We're at the game. It was funny because I was trying to maybe spot them. Somebody saw me going up the stairs, And I was like, well, where are you at? And then they never responded. So eventually at some point I would like to do a Discord meetup or sometime. I know that Ghost is out there doing that. But anyway, let's get to the game, Chris. So let's start with Eduardo Rodriguez's performance.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny the way we were so concerned about this Tigers bullpen, particularly the back end of this bullpen, not the back end, like the relievers 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. Now that the rosters are expanded, and they came in and today it saved the day. Eduardo Rodriguez could not find the strike zone with any regularity in the first 2 innings, and that's he's a guy who lives on the edges for the most part, cutters and changeups and on the edges trying to draw swings, and for whatever reason, maybe it's because it was cold, he just could not throw enough strikes and got himself into trouble. And 3 runs in 4 innings, but I thought those last 2 innings were a good indication of the kind of pitcher he's going to be. The first 2 were not. But yeah, I got a son and a daughter. Oh yeah, but
I love the mustache, Harrison. Keep the mustache. That's awesome.
Hello, are you 18?
Yeah.
That's what we had a birthday party the other day, and that was part of the party favors was mustaches. So
yeah, and look, there was one thing about Drew Hutchison that I thought that was really, again, this is an example of the Fetter effect with just honestly, there's no other way to put what we saw today with the Chris Fetter effect and on Drew Hutchison. And it was funny because I was looking at it was like everything was outside. He was going away. And I thought the White Sox, I thought what Hutchison did to shut down, give the Tigers in the game. I mean, what else can you want from it? And he threw, of the pitches he threw, 32 pitches he threw 20 of them were sliders. Yeah. And he was able to get 3 swings and miss. You got 12 swings on it, 3 whiffs completely. So he went to what he knew. And fastball is at 93. So fastball in terms of speed didn't matter, but he had pretty good control of his slider. Yeah, I mean he's a slider monster. I think is what didn't Goldstein tell us that's what AJ Hinch describes guys like that. They're slider monsters. They throw a ton of sliders, and yeah, I mean it's just one of those things where it's funny about baseball. The middle relievers pitched really well. The Tiger starter did not pitch great. Gregory Soto gave up a home run. This is why we do the podcast at 9:00 and not at 6:00, because I got my son dancing. The dog's got the squeaky toy. Lord. But yeah, so Soto, I tweeted this out from the MCB account. Soto threw 425 sliders last year, gave up 1 home run, and gave up a home run on his second slider of the year this year. It's just, and that's just kind of the funny thing about baseball. Liam Hendricks, one of the best closers in baseball, blew it today. Haas with that awesome home run. We had Baez with the walk-off, near home run. It's just that's why we love this game, because what we think is going to happen almost never happens. Yeah, and you know what? And Joe brought up a good point in the YouTube chat about the umpiring. And look, you can't blame it all on them at all. The call on Bummer to Ken Alerdo was ridiculous. I'm sorry, that was a complete crap call. And there was times where the outside of the zone, even the one where I think it was on Haas, was it the one that he dropped? I think that was Candelario. That was the same. Okay, that was. I'm thinking about a call on Haas too that was relatively close. That also was a trash call. But honestly, that was just, and that's bound to happen. Umpiring is always going to have some sort of controversy behind it. But the Tigers powered through it, and another stand-up performance too from Alex Lang, who went out and just threw some gas. I mean, he was really effective with his slider. He got a 60% on swings and whiffs on his slider, and he threw only 2 changeups, but he got a swing and miss on that one. So the changeup was a good variation from his slider, just a 3 mile an hour per difference. But overall, and then Jacob Barnes, cutter, fastball too. So 2 types of fastballs, and he was very effective too. And one of the things Shawn Michaels pointing out that Torkelson's defense really stood out today, and it did. He made a great diving catch. He made dug 3 balls out of the dirt. But I think there's something that should be said about this and about the lineup being deeper in general today. Torkelson and Baду went 0 for 8. They didn't do anything on offense, and that's fine now. That's okay. Yeah.
With Meadows, with Baez, they have enough guys in the lineup that you're going to have some rough outings from your young hitters, and that's good for the team and also good for those players. They don't have to carry that burden with them. I feel bad for Torque that he didn't get a hit because his parents were in the crowd and they were talking, they're accountants, so they left right in tax season. They kept harping on that, like, geez, we got to get back. No, so it's good. And Torkel's going to get his first hit soon enough. And once he gets that monkey off his back, I'm sure he'll pull in there and be fine. But it just there were very many times during today's game where it felt like, this is just a bummer. The Tigers can't do much. Giolito was shutting them down.
As he always does.
He's a very good pitcher, but then he left with abdominal discomfort on his left side, which doesn't look good. I thought maybe he just had the runs, but
I don't know if you heard of La Russa after the game said it doesn't look good.
Oh my God, I did not see that.
Yeah, so La Russa spoke after the game and said that they're going to have to do some further research on it. And great point there, Sean. That was a play that, and I would say this too. That's not a play that, no offense to Miggy, but Miggy's a little older, so he couldn't make that play, and he couldn't make that play. I don't want to sound redundant there for a second, but the player of the game, so as we do these post game shows, they're gonna be like maybe 10-15 minutes tops. We're gonna probably feature a player of the game. I mean, we should do 3 stars like the NHL, but we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna do a pitcher of the game and player of the game. So my player of the game would be Austin Meadows. 3 walks. He had a clutch hit there to get everything, keep the Tigers rally alive. And he is exactly what, without him today getting on base, I think the game would look a little different. And like you mentioned earlier about Badu and Torkelson being 0 for 8, having Meadows, a veteran bat there, really helps out. And they needed it, and I'm glad that it worked out for that. And my pitcher of the game would be Hutchinson, because I'm not going to lie, folks. Hutchinson really I didn't know what to expect from him. I just thought that, I always think about Peralta last year, Willie Peralta's performance, and Hutchinson gets overlooked because the numbers on Peralta stand out a little bit more. But, Drew went out there and did what he had to do and kept the Tigers in the game. So what about you, Chris?
Yeah, we didn't discuss this beforehand, but those are the 2 players I would have picked as well. Getting on base 4 times in a game is fantastic. It was funny. I texted you. I'm like, I wonder when the last time a Tiger got on base or walked 3 times in his debut was. And then I found a tweet. Somebody else tweeted out, and I apologize for not knowing it was. And Robbie Grossman did it last year. That's how good my baseball memory is. Like, what? Oh.
Well, I was giving you Mickey Telton, Tony Phillips, and I totally forgot about the game last year. So it's
it's not the sort of thing that I commit to memory. It's what Stathead's for. But right. Yeah, I would have picked him. That was a great debut performance. And he tripled on what would have been his 4th walk of the game, I think, right? Wasn't that a 3-1 count? And it was like a foot below. But he's going to live. I think he's going to live in the Castellanos corner, as I like to call it, out there in right center field. So, Hutchinson, Hutchinson gave up a double and a single to start his outing. And it was like, oh man, here it goes. And he wiggled out of that, which takes a lot of grit and, execution. And then he pitched another clean inning. And that getting from the 4th to the 6th without the score changing was huge for this team. And, the Tigers were able to scratch across a run there and then should have got another one, but whatever. So, yeah, I agree with you. Those are the stars of the game, and good for them because I'm not sure if Hutchinson's going to get another star. But, hey, opening day, that sounds good. Remember the one year when, was it Alex Gonzalez got the walk? Yeah. And then he was off the team 3 weeks later?
I forgot, man. Good. Those Tigers for a hot minute. I always think of also with Luis Polonia. Was it? Or was he even longer? Luis Polonia was longer, wasn't he?
Boy, I don't know. It's something that the guys in the chat are pointing out that Barnes had a clean inning. We probably should give some credit to Eric Haas and Javier Baez, who had that awesome defensive play and 2 hits, including that huge game winner. And Eric Haas, what a clutch monster home run! That dude, boy, he's fun to watch and root for.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this: the one thing I took away today. So the other thing I think we should do this, Chris, too, is the strange tweet of the game, something we saw on social media. And I love Lynn Henning. We all love Lynn Henning. But the Lynn Henning tweet earlier, in case no one saw it, and it's one of those things where I I understand I understood where he was coming from with it. I really do. And I'll post it here on the screen in a second. And
It was
go
like,
ahead, Chris, you're laughing so hard. Go ahead, man.
because it was like a perfect apex of Lynn Henning bugaboos coming together in one tweet. So he was complaining. He said the Tigers would love to trade Candelario, which people have talked about. Nobody has said like, hey, they'd love to trade him. People have been like, hey, now that Kreidler's doing his thing, do the Tigers trade somebody? And then, but so he was saying they want to trade him, but he needs to hit home runs, and it's not going to help when he hits them there in this park where it's not a home run. So it was like his Comerica Park complaints informing this new Candelario complaint into like this weird Hadouken tweet. So yeah, I don't know. It was funny. You know, he talked like, no, they haven't told me that they don't want to trade him, but they also haven't told me that they don't want to trade him.
I love Dan Hasty's comment here. Not now, Lynn.
That's perfect. Way to go, Dan.
I love Dan for that. That was.
Oh, by the way, Reese Olson pitching for Erie right now.
Yes. So speaking of that, by the way, so the rest of the minor league, all 4 teams are in action tonight. So for the first time, so we're gonna go and watch some games. So continue to follow the Tiger Man Report. We're gonna be having another highlight. I think we should do Reese Olson this weekend, man.
Sounds good to me. Haven't we done Reese Olson before? Yeah, well,
no, I think you're right. No. Who was the Brandon or who's the starter that you wanted to do?
Austin Bergner.
Yeah, Austin Bergner. That's what we're gonna do next. Thank you. You're right. We have done Olson before, so we're gonna watch those games and we're gonna sit back, enjoy the rest of the weekend. We'll be back probably Monday, maybe Monday. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go to the game again. And then I have a buddy of mine I'm going to go to a Red Wing game for the first time in three years and go on the LCA. So it's a full action-packed day and one of my last days technically off for a while. And so we'll be probably there'll be a couple articles posted tomorrow for Motor City Bengals. And like I said, Sunday will be my final day. And from there, the adventure continues in a different avenue. So thanks for everybody for posting in. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.